Hey, this is Vic. I am the producer of Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi. I am also known as Producer Vic. For those of you who are fans of the show, you have probably heard me before. I just want to let you know that you can find out more about Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi and Kevin and George and all that marvelous stuff by going to busydadsdosci-fi.com, or you can give them a follow at Instagram at Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi. Kind of marvelous, isn't it? The way it's all Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi. Oh, which reminds me, you can also email us at busydadsdosci-fi@gmail.com. And, if you want to subscribe to us, we're on iTunes, we're on the Google Play, the Google Podcast. We're also on Spotify, which is kind of amazing. I had to cook up a special deal with them for that. But, maybe drop by, give a subscription, and if you really like us, you could give us a rating or even a review, and hey, that'll keep us all in seltzer and ice cream, which the boys love, And that's all we're trying to do is bring you the best sci-fi podcast delivered by a couple of busy dads, And of course, me doing my part, producing, and being named Vic. Thank you very much.
Busy daddies do sci-fi. Busy daddies do sci-fi. Busy daddies do sci-fi. Busy daddies do sci-fi.
What are you doing?
Got nothing, man.
Are you putting a cough drop in your mouth?
Yeah, no. I only sleep with these things in.
That's funny.
Yeah,
because that's what I do.
Yeah.
Ah. The alternative is waking up with a very dry mouth.
And it's never like, maybe tonight's the night I choke and die on this?
I have no fear.
How do you...
No fear of that.
When did you stop thinking that you would choke on one of those? Or did you ever think?
After I successfully survived choking on
You mean you woke up and you're like, oh, that's gone.
If you stop breathing while sleeping, you will wake up. So
Really?
No. Yeah.
Did I tell you about... have I told the listeners about the power outage with my CPAP machine?
I don't think so.
I didn't?
No. Were you choking on your own CO2?
I was in Long Island in a summer thunderstorm, and I use a CPAP machine, so it's blowing along just fine, and we get a power outage, and that CPAP machine's got about a 5-foot hose on it. So I come to like this. I'm like, oh, Jesus. And then I'm like, what the hell is that? And I wake up and the power's gone out. My CPAP machine stopped, and I'm trying to breathe through a 5-foot hose in a box with a fan in it.
That is
I'm like,
not
oh! And I threw it off, and yeah.
You were probably sucking in some of your own exhaust there then, right? You're probably
no. It's just it pulls from the air.
Pulling the air in, pumping it in, so you can breathe. So now instead,
it's a fan with a hose on it.
Yes.
And you wear it like an Air Force flying mask.
Yeah, so it's not on, and then you are just now breathing through and along. It's like your nose grew.
No, so when it's off, it would be then like put an Air Force mask on, put a 5-foot hose on it,
and breathe.
Plug it into a box, and try and generate the energy enough to spin a fan to pull an inhalation through. It's like the worst bong in the world, man. But you just come to like that. I was like, Jesus.
I'm willing to bet somebody has already turned a CPAP machine into a bong.
Right?
Right. That's what you do.
Sabong.
Sabong. That's what you do,
That's
man.
what they do. The kids.
The kids nowadays.
The kids are doing it.
With the marijuana.
God, the marijuana.
Whatever.
I'm just happy that marijuana is finally a Budweiser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know what? Guess what, asshole? You don't drink at work, you don't smoke dope at work, all right?
Yeah.
This is not this mass delusion that we all have medicine to take, man.
Yeah, just forget about it. Just classify it and be done with it,
It is.
Hey, man, I drive better when I'm stoned. You know what? No, you don't, pal.
No, because you can't.
Because you can't.
It makes you inebriated.
It's not how it works,
Yeah.
dude. Like, oh, boy. Judgment.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's condemning, man, not judgment.
It is. It's full on
good.
condemning.
I'm feeling better than many out there.
I feel elevated, man. I feel like I've been worshiping a powerful deity.
A power greater than ourselves.
Yeah.
George.
A God as you understand him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because that's what it is, right? It's all out there. It's all out there for the taking, man. It takes many shapes, many forms. Some people find it in a pipe. Other people find it in a pew. Some people find it in a desert.
Pew.
In a desert in California. Hey, did you see that they ripped off the Naked Gun boobs in the desert joke?
I did see that they did that.
Do you take that as like they stole that, or that's an homage? Clearly.
I thought it was an homage.
I did too. I
didn't. It's come to think of it, that didn't.
Well, no, but
maybe you could just say, "Fuck it, we'll do it." Let's do it.
What was cool,
kind of like we do this every fucking week. But okay.
You know what was cool about it, and we'll get to exactly what we're talking about in a little bit here.
Boobs.
Listener. Boobs. If you're driving to San Diego and Los Angeles, there are two structures that look remarkably like breasts. You know what's weird is I'm pretty sure we've talked about this on the podcast before.
We have,
but it's made reference to in the very funny movie Naked Gun from 1991. And this movie that we watched that we're going to be talking about soon makes a reference to it. And instead of going, oh, they just ripped off that joke, what I got from it was, oh, those guys have seen Naked Gun. And they're brothers, and they're talking about it. Like, I thought it was a more cool moment than just like, hey, they just ripped off a joke. You know? It was something this movie did for me. It was
well, you know what? Maybe as we get deeper in this conversation,
it was endearing.
It's something that you can do at this level.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. But listener, we got to warn you. Great movie, great acting. Totally cool. Really enjoyed it. This episode's gonna suck.
It's gonna be terrible, man.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do?
What's better than a bunch of guys going, dude? Oh yeah, and then that part.
How about that?
And then that part. And
do you remember the goodness of this that we're going to now discuss?
Yeah.
And it was original and funny in parts too. And yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
Come on,
you remember
man.
when George and I used to fight?
Yeah.
Fight.
Yeah, we'll find something. We'll find something to fight about in this one.
Oh yeah, no, I'm going to win this podcast.
How about
I can already tell.
Well, you got the cough drop in. You got the cough drop.
Yeah,
tank,
cough drop. Wait, hold on. So you survived a choking of a cough drop.
It was not a full on choking, but it was definitely like a dislodgement. It was a lodging and then a dislodging of cough drop. And
only once.
No, well, only once did it happen. I mean, the very next night I popped the cough drop in my mouth again. And I don't really do that much anymore.
I know you don't.
I do it on occasion, though. I'm trying to quit. And I'm trying to keep it down to like 2 or 3 non-controlled chokings a week, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's
you
weird?
You ever pack one on each side or anything?
Yeah, sometimes I'll put 4 or 5
Yeah. You just go to bed looking like Brando.
You know what's weird is sometimes, you'll wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and it'll still be in your mouth and you've gone to bed at 10 p.m. and you're like, holy crap, man. That cough drop did its job.
Well, I thought that's exactly what you were going for.
Well,
what do you think you're like sleep eating them?
But
wait, hold on. More freaky is, are there nights when you're like, wow, I woke up to take a piss at 2 in the morning. I somehow worked this in an hour.
Yeah.
I've done a cough drop in an hour of sleep.
Well, when you have a cough drop, how long does it typically last? What do you get? Like a 20-minute out of it, right?
I mean, a little longer than that, George.
Maybe.
But yeah. But like,
maybe I'm just going to town on them.
But if I lodge one up between my teeth and gum, it's gonna be there.
Yeah.
So what I'm asking you is, often it made it till 5 a.m. and you woke up. Were there nights when somehow in your sleep you were like working one and it was gone?
And I'm dreaming of nothing but cough drops. and I'll wake up and I'll be like,
apparently that scene from Naked Gun where the 2 bazooms are there on the side of the highway.
You know what? That's why I keep a pile right next to my bed. I grab one more, pop it back in, and go. This is this here double cough drop night. Wow. Listener, you guys are really lucky that you can engage with us on a level. We are so comfortable with all of you that you're free to know about my nocturnal cough drop ingesting habits. You're free to know that Kevin does not respect this podcast enough to not put a cough drop in his mouth while speaking into a microphone.
It's open. I pre-opened it.
You're free to plug in, listen to us talk about what we're going to be talking about today. You guys are free. Freedom. You can go about your daily life. You don't have to ever worry about getting caught up in some sort of situation in which things would be repeated over and over again.
Wait a second, that's my life. Oh,
it's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what this movie we were talking about before. What did this movie remind you of? Groundhog Day.
No,
no, not at all.
No, but I see what you're getting.
Is that
at.
Sci-Fi?
Isn't it?
Kind of.
What are you supposed to do?
What do you
about
do with that?
Yeah,
guy keeps waking up day over and over again. I guess it's like, it's a temporal loop. I don't know.
Temporal loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a time loop.
Time streams.
Time streams.
I watched a lot of Doctor Who since I last saw you.
I know. We were talking a bit
nice,
over.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's some good stuff. You were in the
it was.
Yeah,
Complex.
the end of the 12th Doctor's run. No, the 11th Doctor's run.
Yes.
Yeah. So did you watch the 50th anniversary special?
No, we didn't. We didn't.
You didn't get to that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, we were at a New Year's Eve party.
Tom Baker, the 4th Doctor, shows up.
I pre-read it to make sure that it wasn't going to have any face-peeling weirdness that the boy would probably regret seeing.
That's the 51st anniversary.
That's the 51st. But there were some cool ones. What are the Great Intelligences guys with no eyes and the sharp teeth?
They're
cool.
No eyes and the sharp teeth. Don't know.
Top hats, white faces, no eyes,
yeah,
and needle teeth.
Can't remember what they were called.
Yeah. Well, George.
I guess I'm slipping.
God damn, yeah.
I gotta start popping the cough drops.
Hold on. What's the 5th episode of season 2 of Buffy called?
The 5th episode of the season 2 of Buffy is the episode in which, I don't remember the name of it, but it has something to do with a teacher because Xander is sleeping with the teacher who turns into a praying mantis.
There
I don't know.
Go.
Mantis teacher.
Yeah. Hot for Mantis.
Hot for Mantis, yeah. There's probably a Hot for Teacher reference in that episode,
Hot for
too.
Mantis.
The first season was pretty Monster of the Week standard fare. It wasn't until the second season that they really, really found their stride.
Yeah, is there in the new Buffy vampire that is played by the daughter of the Mad Men show?
No, there is no new Buffy. There's a new Sabrina. Yeah,
Who's
and that is the daughter
from
from Mad
Don
Men.
Draper's daughter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she's great. She's a great
Extra
actress.
satanic. Isn't it supposed to be edgy?
I haven't watched any of it.
satanic?
Apparently, it's really good. But I never watched the original Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That was kind of. I would say it was too young for me, but I think I was 14 at the time.
Well, I had a daydream about this episode.
Oh.
This is the episode that we become friends with the people who made this movie.
I'm down with
feel
that.
it. I can feel
I feel as
So-
though we have a lot in common.
What's going to be weird is we're going to send this to them,
Uh-huh.
and they're going to hear us talking about this part.
Okay.
But I think it's going to endear them to us.
All right, so we should
Especially with all that talk about higher power. I'm willing to bet that we share something more than just our love of the great old ones.
I think you might be onto something here.
I think so.
So we should probably keep this weird of any fanaticism level.
That's at least second week of the relationship. That's when we'll get weird on them.
So I mean, I shouldn't talk about how much I thought Justin's beard was nice.
He did well.
He did well.
He
looks good.
Yeah.
Good hair.
You know what? To be quite honest,
These guys are funny too.
so
they're funny.
Like in real world or something.
No, just they seem funny. Their chemistry together was good.
If I may say something, he looked better than I thought he would, considering their situation. Whereas the other brother fit the lack of getting back into society. He just looked at the bearded. What are the names of the people in this? What happened to it? It doesn't matter. There's two brothers. Where did we go though? We left something out.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
We left out
endless.
a kind of
An endless.
No,
It
you
was
can't.
endless.
No, Kevin.
Wait, had you already
go? No, man.
Wait, no. You're thinking I'd forgotten that it
was a whole thing. There's a whole thing where, like, I was going to talk about how this whole beginning here is really drawn out and seems like it's going on forever.
Well,
and you know that maybe it's kind of not without an end.
Yeah.
Therefore, endless. The endless. It's the fucking endless.
Well,
we're talking.
About the third time I said the word endless,
did you just realize that was the title?
Wait, that's the name of the movie. You're yelling in the studio right now. I wonder what I think.
Vic is banging on the wall on the window of the studio right now,
he's just
calling Kevin a screw up.
I wonder what I think this movie should be called. So what should this movie be called if it's not called The Endless?
Probably Justin and Dan's Time Loop.
Yeah, Justin and Dan don't die.
I don't think his name is Dan, actually. I don't. You know, it's funny that he's the...
So, hey, guys, remember, when we meet and hang out and stuff, we don't, we can't even remember certain details of Buffy episodes. We're certainly not going to remember the names of the main characters of the great movie you made.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sorry about that, man.
Yeah, but hey, we'll catch up. We'll learn it. We'll get it.
We got Hal's name down.
Hal, we do know Hal.
Yeah.
And Sabrina.
And Buffy. But other than that,
Wiz Khalifa.
Like, here's the thing: we've got to know. Once we hit record, we've got to know Google policy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this would basically become what most of the other sci-fi podcasts are, which is basically a reiteration of Wikipedia pages, and then like half a reading of a review off of Sci-Fi.
And we're not going to do that to you guys.
No way,
Let's
man.
make this. You know what? This is sort of our pledge to you in our upcoming friendship.
Oh, I think
we aren't gonna.
I think we've arrived. It's already a friendship.
This will be cool. We're pretty tight with these guys. I mean, after you watch guys do something like this for about 111 minutes, and you're ready to be friends.
I'm looking at it, and I'm like, by the time it was over, I went, I think I can be best friends with those guys.
I mean, they're Southern California guys, right?
The boobs in the desert.
This is, and that's another thing that brings us closer.
Westlake Theater. We were looking out at the. They were in L.A. in the beginning.
They were in L.A.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
This is going to be good.
You guys
for
ever
us,
find
man.
yourself in Highland Park, man?
These guys really might help the podcast.
Well, Kevin, we're not going after ourselves here. All right, we're doing this for other people. We're doing it to help you guys
to serve others better.
To serve others.
Our podcast be prosperous so that others may be served.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
So we're doing the work
of
a power greater than ourselves.
Yeah.
Whatever the will of that power is. Now, seeing as how Kevin bumbled over the title of this, we're just going to come out and say,
I'm joking on a
who
cough drop.
we are. He's joking on a cough drop here. He's not even sleeping. What an amateur. So we are. Who are we?
I mean, that's kind of big.
No, it's not big. It's not early.
Oh, you mean the name of the podcast?
Yes.
Jesus, I am really off.
I'm George.
I'm Kevin.
And we are
Homo sapiens.
Brothers.
What?
We're brothers ditching deity suspended freaks.
Deity?
Deity.
No. Brothers ditching deity suspended freaks.
Deity.
No, not deity.
Deity.
No. Deus, deity.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Brothers ditching deus suspended freaks.
Not
Deus suspende.
Deus would be a better one. Deus suspende. Yes.
That was a Harry Potter spell right there.
It
I
is?
just laid on you. I
thought it was a term for one testicle stuck to your thigh,
and
the other one is hanging lower.
I got a little Deus suspende going on right now.
Or is that when the strings are twisted over one another? That's just torsion.
I just got to move in my chair a little.
Con permiso, Deus suspende.
Vic, we got a Deus suspende here.
Send in Tony the intern.
Send in Tony in the crowbar.
Remember when Tony used to open up all the cough drops before?
Now we're back to doing he'd have them laid out. Well, we screwed up a little bit, man. We missed a week, and we Christmas, everything. Vic is like, how come you guys got to get back on schedule here? So here we are. We're back in the studio. We're doing what we love to do. We happen to stumble upon, in all places, Netflix.
Yes.
A freaking great sci-fi movie. What is going on here where the last couple movies we've watched on Netflix have actually been pretty good?
It's been bad for ratings, I'll tell you that.
It's been really bad for ratings. It's killing us. Every time we have one that we agree is a good movie, terrible podcast. Mm-hmm. But here we are. We're talking about the movie The Endless. It's a 2017 flick, and made by a set of brother filmmakers.
2018 or 17?
2017. And you want to set up the world? Just a little. Just a little bit. Just the tip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Solamente
Deus suspende uno tipo.
Yeah.
Timios criminals.
Well, first of all, an artificial intelligence brought us this movie because Google, when we can use it, referred this article to my feed.
Oh.
Which I kind of want to stumble back and think about this deity and how it works in that context. But yeah, we have two brothers in Southern California in our time, and one of them gets a tape in the mail, and it is a video from a member of a commune that they lived in. One brother, as the video finishes, reminds the other brother, "This is the cult we escaped from, where they're castrated, awaiting ascension," which is kind of like a euphemism for like hell bop, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Go get your Nikes and let's do this.
What was the name of that cult? That was Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate, where they all killed themselves. Yeah, and
I rocked Heaven's Gate sneakers for some time after.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sort of,
I love learning a little bit more about you. Did people walk up to you and go like, oh, hey, nice, Heaven's Gate?
No, I mean they're cool looking Nike. Out of context.
Oh, you mean you didn't intentionally? You were just wearing Nike.
No, after I saw those pictures,
yeah,
I sought those shoes and wore them.
That's fucking twisted.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. I was like, that's a nice pair of Nikes.
Seeking Powers, man. Yeah. That's it.
Seeking Powers.
Seeking Powers.
That's my country music name.
I was referring to your ability to find shoes. Yeah. Your Seeking Powers.
Seeking Powers. My sneakers powers.
Sneaker powers.
Anyways,
Seeker sneakers.
The brother's like, no, man, we escaped from that. That wasn't a commune. That was a cult. And we watch the two brothers give us a little bit of the slice of their life. Having escaped from a place they lived in adolescence up through maybe their teen years, 10-year span, or just shy of a 10 years, probably now that I think of it.
Doesn't seem great. I mean, they seem to have some trouble. They speak about not knowing why they can't make a living, have a relationship, the things that seemingly come easily to normal people, they are somewhat maladjusted to handling. Minus this cult,
Well, because there's a whole, I mean, that aspect shines light on it. I mean, if you could find a commune where you could sell beer to the public and check out and get some hobbies and hang tight, that would be real cool. Do you know? I mean, there's something that makes sense about that. However, unsustainable it might be at this point.
Yeah.
Almost like an Amish sort of. We sell some things, then we can stay checked out. But so there's a little bit of an indictment on what the hell do we just keep doing what we do, like you and I,
right,
every day,
right, yeah.
Working our ass off and coming home. But the alternate in this case is a cult. But they go through some recovery therapy about it, and there's also there's an emancipation sort of thing that runs through this that we didn't totally get to in our notes section, but anyways, it's all live and in person here, folks. But they decide to go back to that place, that Camp Arcadia, for one night because of this video. The video came in a box with stamps from like Paul Ravion. It was European mail, right? I remember wanting to know that detail more in the event I needed to use it later.
Yeah, this box looks like it had been around, and like, it's unintentionally small little VHS tape. The brother goes out to a garage sale to find a camera to play it on, and it's packed in a box with a bunch of paper, and it is basically a female that they know from the commune saying goodbye, saying like, hey, we're all here if you come, talking about this ascension. The brother reluctantly agrees, all right, if we go back, one night. That's it. We can go back and say, I got to tell you, I was not jazzed with the movie at this point. At this point, I'm sort of like, really? Like we're going.
Who would go back to it?
Who would go back to it? More is revealed, especially on the brother's motivations. The older brother, Justin, who essentially we find out that this was bullshit. Like that they were not this malevolent, we're gonna castrate you cult. So that once you find that out much later in the movie, I was sort of like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense that he'd be, because I'm like,
of course he'd bring his struggling younger brother maybe to a place where maybe after all they might actually thrive.
Yeah, and not only that, like if they're just gonna show up and have like 3 square meals and then leave, I'm thinking he's gonna go in and it's like a cult, an AK-47 at the, and I'm like, why would you go back to this? It is certainly not that, which adds to a little bit of like the initial, once they're driving into the desert and you get past the boobs in the desert joke, this movie starts to get a little unsettling in a cool, subtle way. And I think something about the atmosphere of the desert, we are introduced to the fact that their mother died on the side of the road in a car accident. They visit her makeshift grave, which has like a little collection of things that either they had left. They make a reference about having a painting there that they had left, and maybe some of the people from
a painting that looks as new as it was before.
And it's
within. There's some strange stalagmite. Is a stalagmite one that goes up?
Stalagmite is up. Stalactite.
So there's like kind of these lavic intrusions that have been eroded away that are sticking out, and they start to pop up in this desert landscape. The Joshua Tree is largely comprised of intrusions, and I think that thing is a well-preserved picture. That I think about it.
Did you get the idea that that's kind of where they were? Not that it really matters, but that they were in land like Joshua Tree.
No, it was just sort of hot and deserty, more I don't know, mountainy.
Well, I mean, it's like Southern California has these spots that are sort of recognized as being deposits of energy and spirituality. They definitely play with that idea throughout this. They show up at the camp, and it's kind of cool. It's like,
sort of not. I don't think.
Here's the thing.
I was on
it's
the end.
not what I
like,
thought it was going to be. It's not what I thought it was going to be. As soon as they're driving in,
because it wasn't an AK-47 Hail Bop. It was like,
dude,
oh, you creepy weirdos.
How about immediately you see the dude just walking full pace?
God damn it, the pissed off dude,
just walking, and you're like, oh shit, this is interesting. Everybody's really cheery, but you get to learn about like the mechanics of this camp. They make and sell their own beer. They are kind of prosperous at it. It's their livelihood, and they're capable of living and just
off the grid,
completely off the grid, and then they're seemingly happy, but
clearly there's some things that are off, right?
Shit starts to get unpeeled. They have interesting rituals that you wouldn't normally see people doing. There's a tug of war with what appears to be the moon at one point, which it's stated is it's just between Mike on a ladder, actually. And then you see Mike in the crowd, and you understand, okay, this is not a tug of war between Mike and who's ever grabbing this rope. This is something else. There's a push and pull with a force of nature, or an unnatural force that inhabits this land, and these people are not. They're not happy.
Well, it takes a little bit more to get there. At that point, we've seen like a spirit push around some trees, and there are some strange formations of crows, and we're leaning towards a magical, mystical sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to wonder maybe if these campers have these people at this commune have come on to, let's call it a nature spirit or something, right? Like, and it's a movie, so we don't have to have rules. And, there's a recitation. What the tug of war that you described?
The struggle. They
call it the struggle,
yeah.
right? And that really kind of cheesy camp.
Totally.
way
It's a very come on out. We're going. It's time for the struggle.
Yeah, and what's great is it's chilling, but at the same time, it's like depressing. And in hindsight, you start to realize that it's the struggle.
Yeah.
Let's go do the struggle.
Go do the struggle, everybody.
Oh, man.
We
And,
do this.
someone new to do the struggle. Do the struggle. And
they are drinking their beer,
homemade beer
all the time.
And they sit around fires.
They smoke this plant called the red flower, which opens your mind a little bit, maybe enables you to see some things that you wouldn't normally see.
Mm-hmm.
There are refractions of light which give the appearance of two moons in the sky, and it looks chillingly like a set of eyes, very, very malevolently looking at you.
And that second, that refraction sort of hangs out.
Yeah,
because there's two moons in this zone.
Yeah,
and there's a third one coming.
Something bad. Something
It's
happens.
waning.
Something happens at the setting of that full moon, that third full moon. One brother is now, because this was pitched as a UFO death cult. I immediately went to alien intelligence. That was kind of my overlaying belief, was this entire time was some sort of an alien intelligence. But we're, for the most part, kept in the dark throughout this. All these little subtleties, the tree falling in the background, the flock of crows, this idea of during one point there's a guy who's really into magic and he throws a ball in the air and it falls down much, much later than it should if just gravity were holding it.
Which was great.
Yes, it's really, really cool. But all these things it's a testament to how this movie was made. It is a very low-budget flick, which seemingly does not matter. There is a...
It can't. What would you do? What would you do if... when we're bros with these guys and we're hanging out, they're going to tell us what they would have wanted to do.
Totally.
But, bro, well done, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Bro.
How would you... You didn't need to do anything else. They put it all there.
The drawings done by a mental patient female
who was friends with a speed freak from the area.
Who were friends with a speed freak, and she used to take care of his sores.
Yeah.
And the drawings that she does of whatever this creature might look like, and it's even still a little unclear, are all you need. And that, combined with the two moons staring at this camp, you could not have done a better job. You could have had $100 million to make this movie. You couldn't have done a better job than that. It was so
you would have
fantastic. You would have fucked it up if all of a sudden this thing showed up and it's like made by Industrial Light and Magic and it's Thanos or something.
Even if they would have put scales in it or
exactly,
something.
Yeah.
And you didn't need to. Now, as a Lovecraft fan, I remember being scared of the dark in my 20s in Maine after reading enough Lovecraft. I won't say anything more about my state of mental shape then, but it was there is something about the zone, and Lovecraft is mentioned around the campfire once, and then in the lead up, the
movie starts with a Lovecraft quote.
Yeah, and so when that sets over a piece of art or a movie, there are blanks that are filled in for me because that nothing like they say, Lovecraft perverted some idea of God and the gods, and my like data on Lovecraft filled this place in.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really think Alien.
Well, I mean,
I just knew
I was open
darkness.
to after darkness.
Almost, if anything, darker Indian demonology.
Yeah.
Something Sumerian and dank, which is, of course, as we get back into the Lovecraft sort of stuff. But it's done well. You don't need to do. As a matter of fact, I don't believe there are good Lovecraft movies made. Dagon almost does it, and John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness in a bricolage sort of way.
Yeah, I mean, Reanimator works just because it's
but I don't call Reanimator
it's not
such
Lovecraft.
an oddball
It's
Lovecraft.
it's not.
It's such an odd. It's same thing with From Beyond.
Yeah,
they're
completely.
both some of the two. They're out of canon.
They're in name
Lovecraft
only. Yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah. So, anyways, this one might be one of the best at it. Now that
Kevin,
I think
I was waiting for you in the last 5 minutes to just make that statement that this is probably the best Lovecraft movie that's been made without making a Lovecraft movie. And if your intention was to go about that, congratulations. If your intention was not to go about that, like, double congratulations.
If your intention was to make that movie so that we would all become friends, we're totally into that too.
Totally into that, man.
Yeah.
Give us a ring. We're at busydadsdosci@gmail.com. No big deal. The delivery method in which this creature speaks to people that it has within its grasp, and we'll talk a little bit more about what exactly its grasp does, is it sends them photographs, it sends them videos, it sends them...
Depending on the era. Daguerreotypes,
drawings.
the film.
Might be, right.
Because this thing's been going on for a while.
Man, and we are treated to so many cool ways. I love that at no point does, like, Jeff Goldblum show up and explain what's going on, how long this thing has been around, how many armies have tried to fight it, or anything like that. We are given little pieces of a puzzle that we'll never fully solve throughout this. At one point, Justin is just walking through the desert and he comes across a tent in which time is resetting every 10 seconds.
And this tent is like from the 1800s. Like if you're on Tom Sawyer Island, that's the tent.
Right.
With a lantern hanging
outside, an old like sonograph inside playing a record resetting every 10 seconds, and this poor minor bastard inside who every single time resets, he's back in his chair and he realizes, I gotta get the hell out of here because I'm gonna go out of here in 10 seconds. Boom, back in the chair. Sees someone at the window and tells them to run, back in the chair. That is his existence.
And so that's some of that Powers.
And
is that Powers thing.
That is that Powers thing. And we're led to our own belief, or some of the interpretations of others who are caught in that snare of why it is doing this. Is it for its own amusement? Is it an experimentation in time and space? Is it just like what the presence of this thing does? It doesn't really matter. We are introduced again to the idea that like there are different and bigger pockets of time all around this area.
Yeah, that I'm trying to create rules. I don't know why. One would be in a 10-second loop, and there's a significance. Every 10 years this third moon rises, I think. Yeah. Or that might just be there.
That might just be there.
That might rise every 10 years in the Camp Arcadia's loop. Because all around this area, within those stalagmites, you have a fixed time loop. And while I'm thinking about it, what's very intriguing about this movie is, again, in that unobtrusive, dark way, this is one of the more spookier things. Like, again, something about the primal and nature style of this creature makes me think that, like, maybe I've camped near one of these places in my life.
Right. And it's that's that
right?
Lovecraft
right?
kind of like, that's that basement. My basement is a little too dark tonight.
Or the trees
For
in
me to
Maine,
be-
dude.
yeah.
I had read at the Mountains
Yeah.
of Madness and got out of my car one night and was just like, those are looking pretty organic.
Yeah,
Organic.
some here is not right. I have trespassed upon lands that I should not be in, and now I'm going to pay.
Which
the
is why the Indian
consequences.
thing, almost like in the Poltergeist thing, like don't build a house on an Indian burial ground, people.
Yeah, don't do it, man.
You know what's gonna happen,
It's not
man.
going to work out well. You know, you're going to be Craig T. Nelson's going to move in, and it's just going to be a mess. But we are so as one of these brothers is venturing out, he basically it comes out that he 10 years ago when they both left, he made up a bunch of crap about this cult in order to convince his brother that he needed to leave. And for whatever reason, he also went to the media and told them, "Hey, we escaped from this death cult, and they're all castrated and they're crazy." And so he's now being held accountable for this, and they tell him to get the hell out. As he gets the hell out, he comes across a bunch of other pockets of these little loops in time.
All under the dominion of the deity that suspends freaks.
Yeah. Yes. And so one is the aggravated guy that he sees fast walking throughout the camp, who is hanging out with his own body.
Who he's hung. He's
hung.
trying to find some way to off himself that'll get himself out of the loop.
Without
Success.
That seems to be, there's two paths. You are either continually trying to arrange circumstances to break this loop, which usually involves your demise, either out of your own machinations or your own desperation. Like, maybe if I do it this way, I'll wake up on a road 50 miles from here, or at least I'll maybe get some fucking sleep, or you are doing kind of what Camp Arcadia is doing, which is embracing it, but also, there's a tiredness to this.
Well, I would love, let's say the first two people who moved to Camp Arcadia, what was going on that was attractive to it? Now, we know that this power has, I want to call it will, but I'm looking for the right type of word, but if it wants to send you a video, it can. Out in the world.
Yes.
All right. So, perhaps there was he is a prime mover and he starts this thing and gets two people to go out there. To what end, I don't know.
They seem to grow based on lost people. That's one thing that kind of seemed apparent. It seemed like a lot of people, they talk about Hal had saved the two brothers from their mother's burning car, and then they just were raised at the camp. Another was the mental patient who had escaped from a hospital and realized she was better off here. They seem to have grown from people who were wandering in that area and were either drawn there or just trapped.
Yeah, and that's, I'm trying to, I'm thinking about it. We don't know the solution. It's not important, but I think, whereas other things are open-ended, let's go back to our meditative movies where we don't necessarily need answers. This one's working well enough to me that I want to know the rules of the realm. I'm like, well, what do you got?
Yeah.
And not to prove anything right or wrong, but I just want to know more.
That's the thing. Yeah.
I
just kind of want to know more. While at the same time it being enough for me for it to have been a really awesome fucking movie. But I do kind of I want to see what I actually wanted a little resolution between Mike and his wife. Something else there, or the idea, where did the guy with the beard who makes the beer, where did he come from? How did he get there? just little things like that. I wanted more backstory, and maybe eventually, if these two dudes, hey, if you guys need some help making the next one, let us know.
We're great. I'm an ideas man. I'm an ideas guy.
That's what we do, man. Yeah. Hey, cough drop in your mouth when you go to sleep. That was all me.
That was George. Nobody
did that before me. Probably for good reason. But one thing I loved about Camp Arcadia was there's a passing reference, and there's so many little breadcrumbs in this movie that you could just pick up. Like there is the Lovecraft reference during the fire, in which it almost like confirms like, oh yeah, this is an old god. But there's all these passing references to like the idea that all these people have different things that they're good at, different specialties. Somebody makes a joke about it only takes 1,000,000 hours to master something. And there's a tiredness in which some of these people go about their things. Like one guy's really into magic, and it makes you almost wonder like how many things has he been into before. And one of the girl
makes all the clothes,
and one guy makes the beer, and Hal is into physics and into equations, and you're just sort of like, oh yeah, they're just fucking tired of this, man. They're making the best out of the fact that they are trapped and that every 10 years their clock resets. The advantages of this are they seemingly live forever. They are the endless, if you will. But at what price? Like there is the talk about how...
Well, so that's the thing. So there is no longer a price because you're perpetually fucked. So I don't, maybe on the 10th year of that commune where they chased something that probably enticed them, like magical depictions through media of your future or anything that could lead you on. I mean, there's a point where Justin gets a picture blown in the wind from him. There's another point where the younger brother gets a picture dropped to him, and this could have worked to really keep people attracted.
See, that's the thing that this, and I didn't even think about that. I was more under the impression like you're trapped from the beginning, and that's not the case. You're saying this cult, for lack of a better word, this commune, this built up naturally by enticement.
Well, like, so say you're out in Joshua Tree, and you get really turned on to a place where your meditation's really powerful, and people really like the vibe there, and there's some great places to charge your crystals, and all it is a trap laid by a dark spirit.
And then all of a sudden, in the 10th year, boom, you're done. Yeah. And once you're in that
all
loop,
along the way, like it's slowly, because what Hal keeps trying to tell Justin. In what's a really manipulative thing, because how I think some would obviously say, let's get new people, at least more people here, and others. There's an argument seemingly between Hal and maybe the oldest member of this group, the bearded man, who's they seem to have a different agreement. And he just goes, "You don't have to do this. You don't have to." He tells that to the younger brother, and you're starting to go, what do you mean I don't have to do what, right? And you're still figuring this out. But the enticements are like, you get to find out, you get to see it for yourself, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think along the way, before the trap was closed, there was probably awakenings, illuminations, enlightenments, things to keep the wind in the sails of such an idea.
Yeah, they will just be more of this continually. And then it will just be, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, here's our ascension. Our ascension is seemingly death at the hands of a nasty demigod who, for whatever fake worship. Now, is it worship? Is the thing. Is it worship?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, in this day and age, once again, I just painted the crystal cult, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think they call that worship. That might be self-expansion, right? Mm-hmm. New Age. That's kind of what I think.
What they label as their ascension is essentially this thing deciding now, here's the full moon, now I kill you guys, and your loop restarts.
Right, but I wouldn't think you'd know you're getting reset you think there's going to be an event that you have faith in from what this thing
initially, but
right.
you know.
But so after that, I don't think look, like ask yourself this: you spend 8 years, with this group getting the ruse, right? The con, reset, boom, wake up. What the fuck? I mean, maybe the first 10-year session, you're like, this is amazing, but I think at some point. There's no need to worship. That thing's going to reset you.
It just is.
I mean, it doesn't seem to make life more miserable during the period. And like, for instance, Hal explains to Justin that he's into physics and there's an equation. And I had the sense that even though, Justin's like, you ever going to figure that thing out? And he's like, maybe, or something like that. But I think if Hal figures it out, he's got the time to figure out a way to get out. And I think that's his version of trying to escape.
So is that the worship? Is that the worship the want to... You know what I mean? Like, is the worship the want to leave?
No, not. It's like, God damn it, we got 10 years to try and figure out how to get out. Some people are beat. I think Hal's trying to do it by physics.
Yeah.
He's trying to do that scientific God factor. Because he says this equation's what this thing is.
What this thing is to him.
And it sounds metaphysical.
Yeah.
Right? Like, for me, that's my higher power thing. At the same time, when in hindsight, I'm able to go, these people are sick and they're stuck.
Yeah.
And so we get to see the brothers do have a nice, thrilling escape.
They do, yeah. It is probably the only part of this movie that is somewhat not even stereotypical, because it's kind of awesome and hysterical as they're doing it. They're pushing their broken down car.
Well, almost kind of an Evil Dead.
There's a little bit of a chaos
Isn't
going on.
Isn't that great scene with the fucking station wagon in Evil Dead 2?
Yeah. Not...
Just I don't know. I don't know why it just popped into my head like that.
Well, no, I mean, in that, there's some comedy. There's some levity there. They're arguing about, you should have paid for the battery instead of, like, there's brotherly stuff going on. And it's cool and it's well done, and behind them chaos is just raining down. Now, because I'm of a again, this goes back to like kind of like wanting to know more, wanting to understand some of the rules that go on here. Like, when Justin ventures out, he runs into these two guys, Mike and the speedhead, crackhead, meth head.
It's both.
It's both. He talks about crack. I mean, he's like,
who does it? Those things go together.
As soon as Justin walks in the door, he's like, do you happen to have any drugs on you that you'd be interested in sharing? And he's handcuffed to a radiator because Mike does not want him to do drugs. And these guys are in their own time loop, and they reset every couple years. They are constantly trying to find a new avenue, a new piece of the puzzle. He refers to it as a human puzzle, trying to just find a way out. In this instance, they're deciding we're going to burn this house down and ourselves inside of it, and maybe that will hopefully.
And meanwhile, the scene starts with him digging up a tape, which he then plays, and it's the footage of the Deity watching them at their last escape return.
Yes. And these are actually characters from a previous movie these brothers made, which is a great little Easter egg called Resolution. In which
beyond Easter egg, it's meta cool.
It's meta cool. We are introduced to this entire idea.
Meta cool is a trademarked phrase of Busy Dads Do
Sci-Fi. It's meta cool.
Meta cool.
Yeah, no one else has used that. It's a cough drop in the mouth while you're sleeping.
Or cough drop during a podcast while you're talking.
Same thing.
Metatron is the name of my higher power.
Do you know how many people are sleeping right now listening? So we're on a new one here, man. But they're like, I want to know, okay, when they reset, do they know? Or does it take, like, if it's a 10-year reset, is it not until 2 years into it that they're like, this has all fucking happened before, man? Like, we're doing this again, like, and then there's a whole nother level of fright, and then a whole nother level of acceptance, and then it's only like the last 5 years that are actually kind of cool, and then you finally get into them. Like, there's all this stuff that I'm just sort of like, it's an expansive ripple of questions upon questions that I'm just sort of like, this is what this movie did to me, and it's really, really cool. It's really cool. There's so many So many different things you could do with a flick like this. You could look at it as a playing on the theme of brothers, playing on the theme of escape, playing on the theme of destiny. It was multi-layered, and it just did good stuff with 111 minutes and not a ton of eye candy. It did it with words, and it did it with creepy manipulation through photography, like a good sci-fi movie should, man.
And nice addition pieces being added in.
Yeah.
To let you think about. Yeah. Good time, man. Good time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, dudes, hit us up.
Yeah. I mean, we're free like all year, pretty much.
What do we got going on?
Nothing much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're good.
Yeah. I mean, but like that's not desperate. Nothing much. I mean,
No.
we have rich, full lives.
Yeah. But I mean, I would absolutely abandon it if you.
Yeah.
If you guys
I mean, if
to,
we want to
like,
get an apartment together,
get an apartment,
or something,
the four of us.
Because like, if we split rent, I mean, it's so much easier on bills and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this place downtown. It's kind of a loft.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we go in there. We go split skis and
that, but like with me, it's gonna take me a couple months to get my part generated. But
well,
I mean,
yeah,
you
I'm
guys are
not
cool like
I'm
that.
not totally liquid right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask the wife for a loan ski.
Yeah.
And
before the divorce scheme.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
I don't know how cool you guys would be with kids popping around the place, but they could be actors too. We could do. Here's my
method
idea.
actor, they're doing really good right now, being kids.
Here's my
They're
idea
amazing.
for the Endless 2. It's called Even Endlesser. Mm-hmm. And we basically pick up right where we left off. We're driving in the car, and the car runs out of gas. And then my son runs up from behind him, and he's like running from the creature, and we tossed it in the background, and he looks kind of like Godzilla. It's like this Godzilla thing. It's basically the exact opposite
George,
of what you guys
I think you're scaring him off, man.
Is that a little much?
Yeah.
And then my son turns and he goes, "It's Godzilla!"
I mean,
and
these
they
guys
run.
went out not even like Godzilla as much as you do.
It's gonna cost $140 million to make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, buying the rights to Godzilla is
I have them.
But we have a
got
great
it,
lawyer. There's a couple DUIs I've got out of, and that guy will really, I think, help us get the rights to Godzilla properties.
Well, you guys jump on with us. You don't just get Kevin and George. You get the entire Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi family. That comes with Vic. Vic has knocked down the door of every podcast studio in this town. It's actually pretty inappropriate. He's
also
not allowed.
odd that he moves us around like he does.
Yeah, we're never.
If you think about it,
we're never in the same
it's
place.
kind of like I would do the
more than a
same thing
couple
with
weeks.
hostages.
Yeah. We generally don't know where we're going. I mean, right now it's. I mean, there's
Pretty Spartan, one
Yeah.
might say.
Yeah, there's a milk crate in the corner that has the remnants of a previous podcast, I believe.
And a human skull.
You could tell there is a human skull. There's always a human skull wherever I go. I'm an artist. Mm-hmm. What am I supposed to do? Not have a human skull with me? But I'm just saying that and intern Tony, you guys could have access to all that. And and with that, I
Tony
leave
is learning to type. He is up to
slowly.
like 17 words a minute now.
He he can type in Portuguese. Not well, but he's learning English. He can speak English fluently. He doesn't even speak Portuguese at all. I don't know how he ended up typing in Portuguese.
That was the college he went to.
He went to the
Chiropractor degree.
Yep.
Yeah.
At the College of Portuguese.
Yeah.
Which is in Mexico, strangely enough.
Yeah.
But we are pretty jazzed about this flick. Listener, you
pretty jazzed about this friendship we're gonna forge.
You guys can hop
you
on
guys.
Netflix right now if you want.
Not you guys. You're talking to the listener now.
I'm talking to the listener, not our buddies.
Yeah.
If you guys wanted to, you could right now hop on Netflix and you could watch this movie,
Listener.
The Endless. And it has made me want to seek out and check out Resolution and another flick they did called Spring.
Oh yeah.
And probably going to be doing that soon. So what else? What are we doing? What's going on in the world?
Richard K. Morgan put out a new book called Thin Air. I'm almost done with it.
Wow.
Yeah, you never guess. It's a jacked up dude going and kicking ass on a detective story.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Richard K. Morgan?
Yeah.
Wrote that?
Yeah.
Well.
So it's cool to be in the zone, but I don't know what I mean. God bless you, Richard K. Morgan.
Hey, man, if
it works.
If he can
Wait,
do
it works
that,
if you work it?
It works,
No, it works.
no,
If it works,
no.
you don't say that shit, man.
I got a feeling these guys know what we're
God,
talking about, right?
Oh man,
Huh?
yeah.
I caught
so,
that
guys,
language.
there's been a lot of clues we gave you.
Language of the heart.
Yeah, language of the heart.
Know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Huh?
lower power,
Lower power,
Yeah.
higher power, right?
and don't forget about a suspended dais.
A whole lot of
God, because this studio's warm.
Deo suspende.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is really warm in here, man.
Yeah, I think the heat's on, man.
It's probably
I don't.
It's probably
Or are
the-
these heat lamps? I don't even know.
like 6 inches of water on the floor.
We might be in a broken down spa right now.
There's just steam
Yeah.
coming out of here. All right. Well,
That's it.
That's it, yeah.
There's nothing else to
There's
say.
nothing else to
I mean,
say.
this could be an analyst podcast, but
I mean, I feel like I'm looking at the clock here, and we're at 58 minutes, and I'm almost like I gotta stop talking because I'm gonna go for another 35.
or
on
yeah,
just like,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I have to go.
I'm gonna go.
It's a school night, man.
Grab a 35, which is millimeter. That means film. Oh, I
Yeah.
got a little.
It's a cough drop.
Right, I gotta go to sleep so I can have a cough drop. Good night, nurse.
Good night, nurse.